One of the generally accepted facts of astronomy is that there are habitable planets outside of our own, and most people attribute this to the sheer size and number of galaxies in our universe. But there's a little bit more science behind it, and the newest telescope, the James Webb Space Telescope, can help us discover these new planets. First, we need to understand how a solar system forms. When a supernova occurs, aka the explosion of a dead star, it blows all of the materials outward. Now, what's important about this is that everything has a gravitational pull. So these little bits of matter that have been blasted outward will gravitate towards each other, creating bigger and bigger masses until they become planets. What's important about this is the inner and outer solar systems. The inner solar system can have rock and metal, as it can survive close to the hot and forming star, while ices and gases can last long enough in the outer reaches of the solar system to form planets. This is how we end up with Jupiter, a gas giant, farther away from the sun, while we get the planet Earth, which is terrestrial, closer to the sun. This is called the nebular hypothesis. What this tells us is that any planet we could inhabit will be closer to its star, as we can only inhabit terrestrial planets that have an atmosphere formed by its core. Why haven't we discovered these planets yet? Have you ever noticed that the farther away you are from something, the smaller it appears? Even though you know logically it is bigger than that, and when two objects are closer to each other and you move far away, they appear closer together. This is called the law of perspective, and it stops us from observing planets that are close to their stars because the planets appear much closer to their stars than they actually are, especially when we are looking in ranges of thousands to millions of light years away. The brightness of the star that we're observing also causes issues because it obstructs our view of the planet even further. Now you see why we haven't discovered these planets yet. With the law of perspective working against us with millions of light years in our way, it can be very hard to see these planets with our current telescopes, as our current telescopes are just really nice cameras with killer zoom technology. But the James Webb Space Telescope is seeking to amend that problem using infrared radiation. Infrared technology, in its most basic form, is a way for us to observe heat using cameras. You ever see those videos on YouTube of people catching random passerby farting in public spaces? It's the same thing, but we're using it to observe space. This gets rid of both our problems, the brightness of the star and the closeness that it appears to its planet that we're trying to observe. Neither of these things are issues anymore. Because infrared and visible light are on different parts of the electromagnetic spectrum, the brightness of the star does not obscure it. And we're talking about observing heat. Well, any planet that we could inhabit will have a molten core, meaning that there would be heat to observe. Meaning that with the launch of the James Webb Space Telescope, we as humans have come one step closer to discovering habitable planets that may hold life. So we don't just need to go on probability anymore. As you can see with the progression of technology, we will be able to observe planets and species that we've never observed before, thousands and thousands of light years away, confirming theories that have been around for centuries.